Hello, everybody. Welcome to Grounded. This is episode 9. Oh, let me turn off my heater for you. My Q&A Tesla live stream and whatever. It always ends up, just evolving into conversation at the end. But if you're new here for this live stream, I start with some Tesla news. I pick out some of the interesting things that have happened with Tesla or tech or anything related really in the past few weeks. I discuss the news. And then I take your questions, either related to the news that I talked about in the beginning, or questions you have about Tesla, or really whatever you want to ask me. And near the end, it just ends up, being a conversation with everybody. And we always have a lot of fun. So welcome if you're new. If you're not, welcome back. Today is March 17th, 2020. If you don't know, this live stream is podcastable. So really any podcast platform that you use, you should be able to find this there. And listen to it in the car or whatever. I try to make the audio good, so let me know that if the audio is good. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Is that today or tomorrow or something? I really have no idea. And then after I'm done, if you want to see any of the links to articles of things that I talk about during the podcast, I'll put them in the show notes, which will be on YouTube, just in the description of the video after it's done being live. And if you're on a podcast, I put it in the notes, but you could come find the YouTube video. Just search for DirtyTesla. I don't know if this pops up in anybody's just podcast feed randomly. I really don't know that much about podcasts, but let me know. So I don't have a whole lot, the past few weeks, just on a personal channel note, the past few weeks have just been kind of crazy with, of course, coronavirus is crazy for everybody. And for me, if you don't know, I work in biotech, and my company, we're a vaccine company, and we make some other stuff. And so it's just been mad with all this stuff because, of course, we have our normal projects, which we have to continue because we have some contracts and stuff. But then all this coronavirus stuff is now dumped on top of it, which is, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I love that I'm able to work on that, and maybe we can bring a product to help people. But it's madness. It's really madness. So, excuse me, I've just been busy, but I'm trying to keep up with the channel, and still pump out videos and do all that every 2 or 3 days. I do have a video coming out tomorrow morning, so look for that. So yeah, that's just a little bit about what's going on with me. I'm doing great for people asking in the comments. And so good to see you all. All right, so let's start with some news. These are going to be in a little bit of a random order. But the first one, this was this was today. This came out from Tasmanian. Tesla Giga, Nevada, so the Giga factory in Nevada, is taking similar COVID-19 precautions as the Giga factory in Shanghai. So Tesla has a little bit, a lot of companies, but Tesla specifically had a tiny bit of an advantage here because they already kind of dealt with all this stuff in China a few months ago when the virus was really breaking out there. They had to shut down their factory for, was it a week or something like that? And then, I don't really need these. I was using those to test my audio. They had to shut down the factory, and they just had to take certain precautions and kind of slowly ramp back up. So they're taking what they learned from that experience, and they're using it here in the U.S., which is great. I already saw somebody commented, Tesla told to shut down their California factory. I don't know if that's new. Fernando, yes, the podcast is in Spotify. Thank you for the banana tortellini. And so Citi is saying that Tesla was told to shut down their California factory. I don't know if that's brand new, if you just saw that, but last I saw, they aren't doing that. They were exempt because it's, essential or whatever. It's deemed an essential place, which, I don't know, that's kind of up for debate. Seems kind of goofy to me, but that's how they got around that. So, but they're, hopefully protecting their employees and doing everything they can. This is a weird one. This isn't exactly Tesla related, but a lot of you are probably involved at least a little bit in kind of the community on Twitter, and whatever and stuff like that. And a lot of the accounts that are kind of pro-Tesla have been having problems. They're getting these messages from Twitter. In order to make sure Twitter is as safe as possible, sometimes, like now, you may be asked to confirm you're not a robot. Easy, right? Just complete the following to get back to the tweets. So Twitter is verifying all these random kind of Tesla fan accounts, which is very strange. And it's happening to all of them kind of at the same time. And I don't know if it has to do with I try not to jump to conspiracies too quick, but something with like the coronavirus, a lot of people are tweeting about that, and a lot of the social media networks are trying to stamp out any misinformation, and people who aren't spreading misinformation can get caught up in that. But other people are thinking that, the Tesla Q people, I mean, there is like this group that just hates Tesla so much and they want all the Tesla supporters to go down, maybe reporting all these accounts or something. And I experienced this, not with my account. I don't think anything happened with mine. But with K10, Kristen on Twitter, if you ever see any of her stuff, she was tweeting back and forth with someone, and it just said to me the tweet was unavailable. And she doesn't have me blocked or anything like that, but it wasn't showing me any of her stuff. So just, I don't know, kind of a weird conspiracy kind of thing. Like, why is that happening? But I found it very interesting, especially because I was like experiencing, the issues with that. Tesla Giga Berlin construction continues. So they did have a water shortage problem. I don't know all the details on that, but they had to... construction of the Giga Berlin for local residents is the issue of water supply of the plant. So they didn't have enough water, I guess, to continue all the operations they needed to do. You can use water for cooling stuff, removing dirt, all this kind of stuff. And that's been fixed, and this place is really rolling along. They have the ground flattened, they have the trees cleared. So it seems like, I mean, there's like almost no possible way, maybe I shouldn't say this, but it seems there's no possible way they could ever be as fast as the China build. But it's looking good. I mean, they're really making progress there, and it's really exciting. Hopefully, again, all this economic slowdown doesn't hurt them too much. Depends on how much cash they have and how much they still need to borrow and everything. But it's a whole new world from, the last time we did a stream. I don't remember what my coronavirus thoughts were in the last stream. I think I was thinking it was getting a little more serious, but I was not too concerned at the time. I don't remember. It'd be interesting to go back to see how it evolved, because I know 2 streams ago I was kind of like, oh, it's really not a big deal, don't worry about it. And I said it could become a big deal, but right now it's not. That was over a month ago is what I was saying. I was like, right now it really isn't a big deal, but it may become one. And then I started telling people, okay, this is more of a big deal. We'll talk about coronavirus later. Let's focus on Tesla and a couple more. But I did give a lot of qualifiers, saying it's not a big deal, but it might become one, because I didn't want to blow it off and have people think that it could never be a problem. Tesla releases Model Y ad, focuses on winter driving. So if you haven't seen this, it's on Tesla's YouTube channel. I notice sometimes Tesla's own videos on their YouTube channel will get less views than like some of the bigger Tesla YouTubers, which is just so funny to me. But they just put out a little, cinematic thing with the Y driving around, and there was a lot of shots of it kind of going sideways in the snow and doing all this fun stuff. And it was a nice video. Nothing, we didn't really learn anything. It was just kind of a teaser and like, check out this sweet car. But I did really enjoy the video, and it's nice that they're showing the stuff in the snow, because everybody's always, skeptical of the electric cars in the snow and in the winter. And I have my complaints as well, but it's they do great. I mean, they really are great in the snow. So it was a nice little ad. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Last thing, I got a couple more things. So this one is from, I almost always talk about Green on Twitter, Green the Only, because he has some really interesting insights, because he kind of digs into the code and everything, and he can see kind of behind the scenes things that you and I can't see. When like a new update comes out, he'll say, oh, in the back, it looks like Tesla next time or soon is going to add, this wireless charger to the S and X. And then like a day or a week later, there it is. He kind of called it. So he, very exciting, has found some graphics denoting something to do with stopping at stop signs and stoplights. Not just displaying the stop signs and stoplights like we see now where it's on the screen, but actually he's thinking these are indicating the car's actually going to take action at these places now and do the stopping at the stoplight or the stop sign. So that is extremely exciting, because normally when he finds these things in the code, it's a matter of weeks, not even 1 month, but it's a matter of weeks until the features end up being live. Now, it's not always true, but it is true a lot of the time. So super exciting to see this. Hopefully we're getting stop signs and stoplights soon. I keep thinking it's first half of this year, before really August-ish. We're gonna have it before August or September, but you just never know. That's how I feel, though. I still feel that way. So exciting. Hopefully that's actually coming out. What is this? No, I don't want that. So I kind of already touched on this. From my understanding, the Tesla factory is still open, but somebody said that now they have to close. I don't know. We'll see. And it's kind of difficult. I mean, I get, of course, from a business perspective, you don't you don't want to close the place down. That's insane. Like you're paying all these people, and you're paying. I mean, everything's based off of your company being open and working and making product and selling product. And like, I can't imagine all these restaurant owners and all this stuff, especially like the small time guys. This has got to be a nightmare. I mean, it's a nightmare. And for any company, no matter how big you are, if everything comes grinding to a halt, it's going to hurt. You know, it might not kill you, but it's going to hurt really bad. So they're working to do everything they can to stay open. Is it the right thing? Overall, probably not, but that's up to them. So from my understanding, it's still open, but that could change at any time. You know, like in Italy right now, it's more familiar now, but when this first happened, I was telling people, you know, Italy's like on lockdown. Like the only things that are open are like grocery stores and pharmacies. Everything else, people are home. They're not going out. They're home. If you go out in Italy, the police will be like, what are you doing? Show me your papers that why you're going out, that you're allowed to be out, that you've tested negative. And I even heard something, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was reading that something in Italy, if you're found outside of your house and you are sick, you can get charged with some type of criminal charges having to do with like either murder or attempted murder or some, you know, whatever the equivalent in Italy would be. So they're taking it really seriously. But to add on to Tesla's factory being open, Elon Musk did tell Tesla workers they can stay home if they want. Now it's kind of, I don't know how I feel about that, because it's almost like, yeah, you can stay home if you want. I'm not making you come in. But then, like, come on, who's actually going to stay home? You know, you not only will your coworkers maybe give you a hard time, which they shouldn't, but it's just the way it is. You know, they'll be like, what the heck? I'm here working and you think you can stay home? It's just how people are. It's just how they feel. And so Elon Musk can kind of absolve himself of any, you know, like, oh, they don't have to come in. I told them if they want to stay home, they can stay home. But then you can't actually, you know what I mean? You can't actually take advantage of that. Like at my work, we have unlimited sick time, but like pretty much no one ever takes it. Now, if they're sick, they do. But if they're just a little sick, no, they're not going to take it, because you don't want to like take advantage of that. So pretty interesting. And then of course, Tesla stock, I guess we can talk about it, really quick, because it's relevant. It's down a lot, but, you know, in the past 3 months or so, or 2 months, because of this coronavirus. So since it peaked February 19th at $917. And today is March 17th. So it's been about a month. And now it's at $430 today. It closed. And after hours, wow, after hours it is back down to 407. That's amazing. But if you look at the 6-month chart, even, the stock is doing really good still. I know my shares, I try to be open about that, because I don't, you know, like my tiny channel is going to move this stock, but I do try to be open about it. I think I have 16 shares or something. So that's all I have. But I bought a couple of them in the 700s. I think I bought 2 of them in the 700s, but most of them I bought around either 300, or even I bought some in that dip, that last dip where it was below 200 for a little bit. I bought a few of them there. And I'm still up like 30%. Even with the stock at 400, I'm up like 30% overall. So, you know, it's just the way it is. So everything's down. I mean, it's a scary time. It's a really scary time. So, that's really all I have for the news. Like I said earlier, if you just came in, I've been so ridiculously busy, and I'm keeping up with the channel. I have a video coming out tomorrow morning, so it's not like videos are going to stop. I'm not planning on them stopping, but I've had to, like, I didn't prepare much for this stream, and I'm mostly hoping that we can just kind of talk and hang out. And I think there will be a lot of coronavirus interest, because I'm working on that. So I can't give too many details, but I can tell you what I can tell you what I can tell you. So I'm going to start going through the chat now. So if you have questions, if you haven't asked it, I answer everything. So I go through the chat if you haven't been here before, and I do my best to hit every single question. If you think, try not to keep asking because I will get to it. If you think I missed it, then ask it again. But okay, so I am back. I'm near the beginning. Okay, this is pretty good. How are you? Says Abraham. I'm good, thank you. Eric, hey, have you noticed improvement of autopilot ping-ponging on the new update? I don't really ever get ping-ponging. My autopilot's pretty rock solid. So I had a little bit before hardware 3, but it was a fluke in my opinion. So Abraham, when will autopilot updates will come back to normal? I know, Abraham. Well, Elon did say this month in March that a new autopilot feature is coming. He tweeted that. Nobody knows what it means. He wouldn't follow up. Of course, I asked. He doesn't ever respond to me. He's never responded to me. And so I always rely on somebody else asking that he'll respond to. I mean, he seems to respond to just anybody randomly. But so we don't know. And again, with all this coronavirus stuff, who knows if that's delaying it. But at least the autopilot people can work from home, right? Arrow YT, did you know Tesla air conditioner filtering is really good, that it can stop some bacteria? Yeah, so that's a good thing to bring up, Arrow. Now, this isn't on the Model 3 and the Model Y, but on the Model S and the Model X, they have a HEPA filter, and the car has a bioweapon defense mode where it turns on the fans, I don't know to max, but it turns them up high, so it pulls in air through a HEPA filter, which filters out viruses and bacteria and small particles, and it pulls in enough air so the pressure inside of the Model S and the Model X is positive. So any cracks in the car where air could come in, air is actually blowing out. So it's keeping positive pressure in the car. So all the air coming into the car is going through that filter. So it can filter out viruses and bacteria. And this was actually useful when California was having their wildfires. A lot of people with Model S's and Model X's were turning that on, and they were having a great time breathing. Their air was nice and clean because of that. So it can help with coronavirus, but you're not going to be driving down the street. And technically, I guess it's possible, but you're not going to catch it by driving down the street and a virus comes in your car. It's just highly unlikely. Joe Winninger, last stream I said it was coming. Okay, I'm glad I said that because last stream was 3 weeks ago. I aim to do these every 2 weeks, but last week I just didn't. And you know what? Thank you to you guys, because I did have a couple people be like, what's going on? Where's Grounded? So I'm glad that you missed it. I didn't think anyone would notice. So, yeah. So, Rye. Galley did a video on Tesla survival. He thinks they have enough cash for a year of no production. Wow. That would be really impressive. I've seen Galley pumping out the videos too, and it's so interesting because a lot of the YouTubers, like I love YouTube and I love to watch YouTube videos, but I feel like a lot of us don't have time to watch each other's videos. And so then we miss out on what other people are saying. But that would be good. And, Tesla did just raise, $2 billion or something. Oh, my gosh, those poor people. They raised $2 billion at a stock value of like 700. Now it's like half that. But, that's the game. It's okay. If you're long, it really doesn't matter. I mean, this is a hard time because everyone's like, oh, when the market goes down, buy. Yeah, but if you lose your job, you can't do that. But if you have a job and you have a lot of extra cash, not financial advice, whatever. I don't know if I have to say that, but it's a good time to put a little in. Don't go all the way, but it's a good time to buy some stuff. I have bought a little bit in my retirement accounts. I bought just a tiny bit. So I don't have much cash in there, though. I just keep everything invested usually. Abin, Arrow, in case you're at coronavirus. Actually, Abin, it's looking like coronavirus may be airborne. So, keep washing your hands and all that, but I don't know if it's helping all that much. Hitting Europe really hard. Yeah, poor Europe is getting their butts kicked, and some of it's inaction. Some of it was like with Italy, they're the first one to get hit that hard, and so they didn't, they could have looked at China, but people had a lot of denial. I mean, you still see people even today, it's pathetic in my opinion, but people, it's just the flu or it's not that big of a deal. I don't know how you can say it's not that big of a deal when you see everything going on. And people like to, only 2% of people die, or it's only old people. Well, yeah, okay. So you're okay with like a bunch of old people dying, or you're okay with 2% of the world dying? I mean, not everyone's going to get infected, but if you just think of it that way, it's just, those aren't good justifications for saying it's not a big deal. They're really not. What do you think about Tesla stock dropping? Yep, we talked about that. Everything's dropping. It's fine. If I had a bunch of money, I honestly would buy some. But I don't have enough to just be buying random stocks all over the place. Did you hear about the Starlink launch failure? I did not. I'm sad. Starlink abort. Nothing failed. That's good. I really want Starlink internet at my house right now. If you don't know, I use like the internet I'm using right now to stream this. I have a Mophie. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. But it's like an industrial router basically. And I put a SIM card in it, and I use LTE for my home internet because we don't have any internet out here. So I would love Starlink internet. Morez. My Model 3 has 4,000 miles on it. That's awesome. And I lost 7 miles of range. Is that normal? That's completely normal. That number will fluctuate. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Abraham, I was watching the launch. Oh, sorry. Eric, problem there is I have had it tell me to stop multiple times for flashing yellow. Oh, Eric, really? So you've had the warning. You've had like the where it yells at you when you're on autopilot. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but it sounds like Eric's on autopilot and he's going towards a flashing yellow, and then he gets the warning, like it pops up and says stop sign. You know, when it actually is stopping at stop signs and stoplights, excuse me, I think it's going to be like the rewrite. Things are going to be changing very quickly with autopilot, in my opinion, in the next 6 months to a year, and they're going to be changing in a big way. Things are not going to work the way they do now. So pretty much everything I know about autopilot, everything you know about autopilot, I think, I could be wrong, but I think we're going to throw it out the window. It's not going to mean anything. You know, right now, when I do a Tesla challenge or I'm using Navigate on autopilot on the way to work or whatever, I know what the car's going to do 90% of the time. I can sit there and be like, oh, it's going to change lanes. And go watch my videos. You'll see. I'll be like, oh, the car's probably going to change lanes here. And in the middle of my sentence, the car ding and turn signal on and it changes lanes. So if you use it, you know what it does. You're very comfortable with it. And I think all that's going to go out the window and everything's going to change. Again, it's just my speculation, but I think that's what's going to happen. Abraham, 2020 will be a great year for Tesla. Hopefully the coronavirus does not screw this up. Yeah, I think it's still going to be pretty good for them. William, I think that's about normal. It depends on if you're leaving Sentry mode on. Matthew, the virus is only bad for older people, the young and middle-aged. Yeah, I just went off about that, so I'll let you. You probably already heard me responding to that. And Matthew, that is not true. Yes, a higher percentage of the people having really bad reactions to this virus are older, which doesn't make it okay. But there are plenty of examples of people in their 30s and 40s needing respirators and things. So I wouldn't use that as an excuse. My monitor just turned off. Okay, it's back. Stop turning off. Okay. Take a look at Stats app. Too young isn't that good. I had my Model Y delivered yesterday. Wow, that's awesome, Death Spade. You should DM me. Then today I got tested positive. Oh no, best day and worst day of my life. Oh, sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay. So this guy just got his Model Y. If I have to read I have to read out loud what I'm reading better. He picked up his Model Y, and then the next day got tested positive for COVID-19. Well, enjoy your quarantine, and hopefully you'll feel okay. I started working from home last week, and everyone gave me a ton of crap. Then this week they closed the building. Joe, I know, and you know what, Joe? It's hard. I shared a quote from one of the former health advisors or whoever for the White House. Something along the lines of everything you do before a pandemic looks alarmist and everything you do after looks inadequate. And it's so true, because the thing is if we do everything right with this pandemic, not much is going to happen, right? And we'll shut down all these buildings and businesses will be having a hard time making money, but then there won't be people dying and there won't be that much sickness. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that was not needed. But if you do nothing, a lot of people are going to die and they'll be mad that you didn't do anything. So it's very difficult to balance all this stuff. If they manage to run the Giga factory in China, they can do it in the USA. Yes, they can. I agree with that. Oh, Deathspade, you're in Michigan? Oh, man. You're in quarantine. Deathspade, I would like if you could private message me. I would like to hear from you. Are you on the website yet and all that? I would like to hear more from you, if you don't mind. Kyle bought loads more today. I'm guessing you mean of Tesla shares. That's good. I think you're set. I mean, especially if you can buy shares of almost anything right now. I think personal opinion, I think we still have more to go down. I think we're still going to be dropping a good amount. But if you have the money to buy shares and just sit there and not worry about it, then it's time. I mean, you're good. Gayton, on a lighter note, how long do you think till Tesla goes full-on Knight Rider? Man, I don't know. Like full self-driving, I still think we got a way to go. I just want to stop at stop signs and stoplights. It's so funny because things get normal like too quickly. So autopilot is like this new technology and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then it's like, oh yeah, it keeps its lane and speed, who cares? And then it starts changing lanes on its own and everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then it's like, okay, I want stop signs and stoplights. And when that comes out, people are going to be freaking out. Stop signs, stoplights, everyone's going to be, I can't wait to make a video. I'm sure it'll be very successful. People will love seeing that. People will love experiencing it. And then 3-4 months later, be like, it stops at stop signs and stoplights, like big deal. And we'll run on the next thing. So you got to remember how amazing these things are. Abin, how long do you think it's go? Sorry, I don't know. When you type out, since I'm so far behind in the chat, if you're typing a question to me, if you're talking to each other, it's fine. But if you're typing a question to me, try to give me a lot of context, because by the time I get to your question, I'll be far behind. I find it troubling, though. All stocks are up today except Tesla going down. Tom, I think that's because there were rumors about... what was it? About the factory closing, even though they're not closing. So one day isn't that big of a deal. And again, I don't know. I think the price is pretty fair. Abraham, how often do you make these streams? I try to stream every other week. I did a poll, and it seemed like a good amount of people wanted every week, and I'll do it if I can, but it's just a lot for me. Because, I mean, I can do it. I can sit here and talk to you guys, but this is the time where I edit videos and work on other stuff, so it just kind of takes away from that, but that's okay. If people enjoy it, I don't mind. The other thing, I've noticed, and maybe this is just, I'm just noticing because now I'm doing it, but I've noticed a lot of other channels have started live streams since I've started doing these, and it's just so funny to me. I don't know. It's nice to be influencing other channels. I'm happy that what I'm doing is good enough that other people feel inspired to do it. Let's put it that way. Same with Tesla challenges. A lot of people do those now, and they name them their own thing, which I actually kind of like seeing. I kind of like invented that, and I don't know. It's just cool to see other people doing that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It makes me feel like, do I really want to keep doing it? If other people are doing it, who cares? But I will keep it up if you guys are enjoying it. My only source of charge is the superchargers, MoRes. For now, I don't know if that is affecting battery degradation. MoRes, yeah, theoretically, it's not as good for your battery to be supercharging all the time, but practically, people have found that it doesn't matter that much. There's the guy who I've talked to on Twitter a few times, and I was in a video chat with him, I think, who's over 100,000 miles on his Model 3, and he exclusively supercharges, and his battery he still gets like well over 300 miles per charge, like at 100%. And he charges up all the way. He lets it sit charged up. I mean, he doesn't even care. He just supercharges and does all the bad stuff that we're told not to do. And his battery's fine. So, sample size of 1, but it's good to hear. Cybertruck should come early. Kyle, I would like that. Because we still have the Model Y. So if you didn't see the last stream, I actually ended up ordering a Model Y because people here were very nice and basically donated up to the $100 for the deposit. And I told them, it doesn't mean I'm buying it, but I have it reserved. And I would love it. And I think Stephanie, my wife, actually wants it more than I do. And so it's reserved, and I would like to get it, but it's, money's money. I see a lot of the other people. It seems a lot of the people in the Tesla community, I mean, if you buy a Tesla, you obviously have a decent amount of money, but it seems a lot of people in the Tesla community just have boatloads of money because they're buying new Teslas like every year. They buy a new Model X and new Model 3, and they trade their Model 3 for another one, and they get a Model Y, and it's just crazy. So I definitely can't keep up with that. But if I get a decent price for my 3, then we could switch to a Y. But I would rather have the Cybertruck. Like if I could only have one, I'd rather have the Cybertruck. Now, ideal life would be Cybertruck and Y. I would like to have those two. But we can't afford that. I mean, at this time today, maybe in a year or 5 years or something. But Darian, are you off work because of coronavirus? I'm going to stay in the house all week. Darian, I am not. I am at work more now with coronavirus because I work in vaccines and things, and so we have a lot of work we're doing on coronavirus. And if you guys, are interested, I can tell you as much as I can tell you. But working on how do I say it? Again, I can't give too many details, but it's kind of like another hand sanitizer. I can just say that. So it's like a preventative measure. something to keep you protected so you don't get infected. It's not foolproof. It's not like a cure or an actual vaccine, but it's something that may prevent you from being infected, which we're targeting everybody. Anyone can buy it and use it, but we're mostly targeting like nurses and people that are going to have to be near sick patients. Will, do you think it will be possible to retrofit the Model Y heat pump to the Model 3? Let's talk about the heat pump for a second. So this is so funny because the heat pump is very exciting news, and a lot of people have been making Model Y videos, and I think I saw like 3 or 4 YouTube videos of like this secret new Model Y feature, and everyone's talking about the heat pump, which I don't blame them because it's really exciting. Retrofittable, no, I don't know. You can't do that. But will newer 3s be produced with a heat pump? Yeah, I do think that's coming. Maybe we'll see. I'm not that excited about it because if you have a heat pump, you're also going to have a resistive heater. So right now the Model 3 has a resistive heater, and resistive heaters work really well to heat stuff up, but they suck a ton of energy. So that's the negative, and that's why in winter the range is so crap, because you're using all this energy to heat up your cabin. Well, the heat pump with the Model Y kind of helps that because it's way more efficient. It uses way less energy to warm the cabin. But the problem comes, and I think people have saying minus 18 Celsius is the magic number. But when you get to a certain level of cold, it's too cold and the heat pump doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So then you'd switch to that resistive heater. So for me in Michigan, I mean, I'd have plenty of days where the heat pump would be good because we have a lot of days that it'll be like 40 degrees. And I do notice a hit to my range at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But then when we go down to like 30 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Fahrenheit, the heat pump, it just won't work. It's not going to do anything. So I do believe it's coming to other Teslas because it helps with efficiency. And Tesla's, the company Tesla is pretty obsessed with efficiency, but we'll see. Eric, I have 11,000 on my 3 long-range dual motor and show 311 on a full charge. That's awesome, dude. That's really good. I don't know what it's supposed to be anymore even. I'm also in Michigan. Nice. Biofilters are pretty Knight Rider-ish. Gaten, yes they are. Atomic Yeti. So what are your opinions on Tesla's hidden apocalyptic mode? Hidden? I don't know anything about that. Asimo, you hear the factory is closed? That's what people in the chat are saying before minutes ago. Let me just Google it really quick. Tesla factory closed, and then we'll know for sure. Tesla told to shut down California factory to help fight the coronavirus 42 minutes ago. 1 hour ago. Tesla stock drops after hours as County says Fremont factory is not an essential business. Okay. So I was talking earlier about how the stock after hours lost 5%. And it's because after hours, yeah, Fremont said, no, you can't do that. The county said that they can't keep the factory open. That sucks, but I think overall, I think it's a good thing, to be honest. This is pretty serious stuff, and we need to take it seriously, but I have my worries still. I'm a little worried, but we'll see what happens. Have you noticed that on the latest update, the visualization seems better? Joe, a lot of people have been saying that, and like, people are saying, oh, it's way smoother and whatever, but I don't notice that too much. I do notice it seems to display more. I don't know how to say this without being confusing, but it doesn't display any new items, but it seems to display more stuff. So it's a lot more forgiving. Like sometimes it would be wrong and show a fire hydrant as a cone, but it wouldn't do it very often. Now it seems like it does that a lot. So it's like all the mailboxes now look like garbage cans. So I'm noticing that. But besides that, I don't notice too much. Yep, I can't wait for the rewrite. As a programmer, it's going to make a huge difference. I'm glad to hear that. I am not a programmer. I have no idea anything about writing programming. Abraham, yeah, Autopilot will start learning way faster with the rewrite. I hope that's true. City, see the link below. Fremont factory told to close due to corona. Yes, now we know. Huge stream delay. There is a big delay. Yes, I don't know why it's so big, but it is. Death Spade, thank you, bro. I don't feel any worse than the typical cold right now. Hoping it gets better soon. I'm glad. If you weren't here earlier, Death Spade has been diagnosed positive for coronavirus, but not any worse than a typical cold. So I'm glad to hear that. And that's what it is for most people, which is nice, but you don't want to infect anyone else. The rate of spread suggests CV is highly contagious. Can it be airborne to long distances? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's airborne from everything I'm reading. And long distances, I don't know. I can't really answer that for you. But studies are showing... so here's the thing now. With all the data coming out, So as a scientist, I'm always really skeptical of everything. And it can be annoying. Like sometimes for my wife, she'll tell me whatever. And I'm like, are you sure about that? And I'm always skeptical with anything anyone's saying. But so with all this coronavirus stuff coming out, number one, things are changing really fast and we're learning stuff every day. So everything you see, you don't immediately need to dismiss it as, oh, they're lying or something, but you do need to be skeptical that it's actually true, because what they've done, this is pretty amazing. When a scientific paper gets written, it gets written and then it gets peer reviewed. So that scientific paper has a bunch of good data in it, and they tell how they got their data, what they did, and it gets sent to some other scientists. And the other scientists read through that paper, they verify it, they might ask for more data, they might ask for extra evidence to prove the point of that paper, to show they're not lying or whatever. And then it gets reviewed, it gets sent back to the original. It's a long process, and then it gets published months later. The paper's written, months and months later, it's published and accepted as scientific fact. Well, what they've done for coronavirus right now is all the papers coming out, they're just publishing them. They're not peer reviewed. And they're doing that on purpose so that people can get the latest information as soon as possible. So all the scientists around the world can do everything they can to fight this as fast as possible and come up with vaccines and all that stuff. So things are coming out that might be true, probably are true, but maybe are a little sketchy. So you just got to be careful with that. Can coronavirus create permanent lung problems or pneumonia? It definitely can cause pneumonia. That's where people are having trouble breathing and dying because they can't breathe, or they need a respirator, or even their lungs are too damaged. The respirator's not even doing it. Create permanent lung problems. I've seen a lot of talk of that. I don't know if it's true. I'm not sure. Yep, Tesla stock didn't do good after hours. Just talked about that. Dude, how's it going? Hey, Brian, welcome. How do you think Model Y will sell? Fernando, I think Model Y is going to be amazing seller as long as everyone doesn't lose their jobs. But one of the most popular cars, so we own the Model 3, obviously, and then our other car's an Equinox, which is one of the most popular selling cars right now. I think it's like one of GM's best cars, like top 3 or something. And this is like a direct competitor to the Equinox besides price. But what happened with the Model 3, and I'm proof of this, people were trading in their cheap cars to bump up and pay way more for this Model 3 because they wanted it so bad. So I came from a Ford Focus. It cost me like $12,000. And I bumped all the way up to a Model 3, which was almost $50,000. I would have never spent that on a car in my life. Yeah, right. Like if you would have told me that 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe I was going to spend that on a car. Well, that was Tesla time. Maybe before I knew Tesla was a thing. I would be like, yeah, right. You're stupid. You don't know anything. And so price-wise, the Y is not a direct competitor for the Equinox, but maybe it is what I'm trying to say. So we would definitely, if we could, swing 2 Teslas at once, be going from Equinox to Model Y, but our Equinox is a lease, so we couldn't switch right now. Next thing will make the car fly. That would be great. Joe, is there anything planned after stoplights, stop signs? Joe, that's a really good question. So autopilot is going to keep evolving over time. It's never, I don't see it ever being like, okay, it's done. They're always going to be adding things, making it better, making it safer. But on Tesla's website and the current description of autopilot, once stop signs and stoplights are used, once the car can drive and stop at stop signs and red lights, autopilot is feature complete. So what happens after that, nobody knows. Is Tesla going to then start charging more money for extra stuff? For hardware 4, which is whenever that comes out, are they going to charge more for hardware 4? I don't know. More stuff is coming. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how it's going to be seen. Hint. That's the person's name. Since the sensors already detect stop signs and lights... Oh, come back. Sometimes my chat... Wow, I'm way behind. All right. Since the sensors already detect stop signs and lights and the hardware is ready, should be an easy step to implement it on autopilot. Hint, you'd think so. But, with this, you kind of can't have a mistake. And you can say that also, I guess, for normal autopilot. You can't have a mistake. But you kind of can. Because if autopilot makes a mistake on the highway and you're using it the way you're supposed to, which is you're paying attention, it's easy enough to be like, whoa, don't do that, and just take over. But like for a stoplight, if you're paying attention again, you'll be like, oh, is the car going to stop in time? And you'll hopefully hit the brake, but I don't know. It can't be that simple or it'd be done, right? Kumar, any update on Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive orders? Been sitting with one since September 2019. Would you recommend upgrading and bear the significant price bump? Should I wait for Tesla to contact me and present a deal? Kumar, I would try to be patient. I don't think a rear wheel long range is ever going to come. I could be wrong. It might come out. I don't think it's ever going to exist. I would, have you contacted them and just asked? I would ask somebody and say, hey, what's going on here? And they might just tell you to upgrade, but maybe they'll give you some kind of discount or something. I would try to be patient, but if you really can't be patient, I then just bump it up to the all-wheel drive, because that car's, I could be wrong, but I don't think that car's going to exist. Andrew, I keep hearing that supercharging is damaging to batteries over time. Looking to get 10.3 extension cord to charge for my apartment overnight. What did you use on that trip? I use superchargers on my trip. Superchargers, it's all theoretical stuff. So like when you charge, it's the same for your phone, for any battery. If you charge it faster and more, it's bad for it. I mean, it is. It's just a fact. Like, the faster you charge, the worse it is for it. Now, practically, in real life, does it matter? So far, it seems like it doesn't matter. Just use the car and don't worry about it. You know, I mean, I've supercharged a bunch. I charge it every night. I charge it to 90%. I charge it to 80%. Like, whatever. I don't think you have to worry about it too much, honestly. And you have your warranty. You know, you have the warranty for 120,000 miles. You know, on the long range. I think it's 100,000 miles on the standard range, and 8 years. So I really don't think you need to worry about it. Model Y will outsell all other Teslas. I ordered one also. That's awesome, Fred, and I think it will. I totally agree. Yes, Y is going to outsell everything. Doggo sleeping. He sure is. Yeah, of course you should keep doing it. You are the OG, and I enjoy your honesty with it. Thanks, Tom. I will probably keep it up. It's just, I don't know, I feel weird when I see a bunch of other people doing the same stuff. We have a Mophie. I feel the pain. Hurry up, Starlink. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have a Mophie. I have that too, Matthew. I have a video about that. I sold a lot of Mophies. People have them. Abin. Yep, I remember being in that stream where people donated 100. Yeah, that was fun, Abin. I couldn't believe it. Aaron, when do you think Model Y leasing will become available? I have no idea. Maybe look back at the 3. I mean, what was it, a year? At least a year before 3 leasing came out. Yeah, that's how Ari sleeps. He's moving around back there. He's probably like, why are you so loud? Can you shut up? Okay. Funny was thinking the same thing. Morez was. Abraham. Yeah, the Tesla community is super wealthy. Yeah, I mean, of course, if you're buying these cars, you have some money, but... so, latex gloves. I don't know what you're talking about. Eben, yes, please tell us all you're allowed to tell us about COVID-19. So, about what So I'm obviously working with a team at my company. We're a pretty small company, and so we're working on a few things. I can talk about the vaccine first, and I can't. It's hard because I really can't give details. But it's a vaccine. So there's 2 ways you can make a vaccine. You can have the whole organism. So let me use pertussis as an example. So like you get your Tdap shot or DTaP, whatever. Those are different. It has pertussis in there, but it doesn't have the actual pertussis bacteria. It has recombinant protein, which, man, I need to get into a lot. But you can basically look at the DNA of any organism, and you can make a piece of that organism, a protein. And then you can take that, the whole thing behind a vaccine is you take that protein, which is a piece of the organism. It's never alive. It can't do anything. And you show it to the body and you say, hey, check this out. If you see this, you should get rid of it. And the body goes, oh, sweet. Okay, well, I see that now. Now I know. So when you interact with, pertussis or the flu or tetanus, whatever bacterias or viruses that you're immunized against, your body sees it, antibodies grab onto it and kill it. So the other way to do it is to use the whole organism. So oh my gosh, Asimo. Jeez, Asimo just sent $100. Thank you so much. You provide a ton of entertainment with the driving challenges. Keep it going. Wow, that is so can't believe you just did that, dude. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's like the nicest thing ever. I hope you're enjoying. Now I need to say whatever you want. No, I hope you're enjoying me talking about this vaccine. The viewers are leaving. Why? Don't leave. We're talking about the vaccine now. This is sweet. So thank you. That's very nice of you. The other is you take the whole organism and you kill it. Now, viruses aren't alive, but you destroy it, you dismantle it, and you show the body that. So same thing. Like, here's the thing. If you see this, please kill it. Well, Nobody really likes the whole organism approach anymore because it's scary. And can you really blame them, right? Like if I told you, hey, here's this virus and it's killing people, but don't worry, I killed it first. Now I'm going to put it in you. Like, are you really going to accept that? That's one way to make a vaccine, and they work well. So again, one more thing with pertussis. The old pertussis vaccine was the entire killed bacteria, and it worked better than the new pertussis vaccine. So the new pertussis vaccine still protects you, kind of, but it's not as good. So I won't get too much into it. So what we're doing at my place where I work, I'm a molecular biologist, so I do a lot with DNA and proteins and stuff. So I am making, actually I just made the protein, which is the spike protein. If you've seen the graphics of the coronavirus, it's like a ball and then little spikes coming off of it. That's the spike protein, and that's where it, grabs onto your cell and let me in. So I made the spike protein, and we have that, and now I'm working on purifying it so to make it clean, so it's just that protein and no other proteins are mixed in with it and nothing else. It's just like that protein and salt water, basically. And so hold on, I just want to okay, so we're working on that recombinant protein, and a lot of people are doing that recombinant protein approach too, but everybody makes their own, or you can buy it from people and whatever. So we're just getting into that, and some trials have already started. I think they actually already injected some vaccines, but you need to make sure the vaccine is safe, and that takes a long time. So for ours, that's one approach. We're doing recombinant protein. The other one, our adjuvant, which is the thing that kind of, when you put it in, your body's like, whoa, look at this. Like the adjuvant really attracts your immune system and gives you a big immune reaction to whatever you put in. Our adjuvant actually also kills the stuff. So you can just mix the whole virus with it. So we don't have the novel coronavirus, I call it SARS-CoV-2, because it's like the second version of SARS. I mean, that's the name of the virus. COVID-19 is the name of the sickness, the disease. So for the SARS-CoV-2, we don't have that in our lab. We don't have the clearance to work with that, and I'm kind of grateful, to be honest. I mean, if we had the proper equipment, it would be fine. But so we've sent out our stuff to other places, to other companies, and they're working with our stuff and the actual virus. So that's another way we're doing. Now, the other thing we're doing, and I can't get into too many details, and I'll look at questions soon, and I'll try to answer all your questions. The other thing we're doing is a preventative, and it's not, again, like a vaccine is a preventative, but it prevents like 90% of cases. This is more akin to like a hand sanitizer, and it's not, I have to be careful what I say. I'm very excited about it, and I think it's coming to market soon. And it is aimed first and foremost at healthcare workers to protect them from being infected. But it will be available for everybody. And I actually have some. Like, we have it. And I just have it, like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of the way to say things without giving anything away. The product has been made, and employees have the product, and we're trying it out. Now, we're not trying it out and then, like, infecting ourselves with viruses, but we're using it, and it's sweet. We're enjoying it. So it seems like it's coming soon, and to not get too much into it, but like, it's cool because a lot of companies, this is not cool. It's very sad because a lot of companies are having a hard time right now, but our company has a lot of interest. That's all I'm going to say. I hate it because it's sad for everybody, but because of the nature of the business I'm in, it's an exciting time for our company. And that's why if videos slow down, I'm trying my best not to do that. That's why, because I'm very busy. Okay, so I talked about the vaccine. Let me blast through some of these questions because I'm way behind. Model Y is at 2.9% APR. They talk about GM is doing zero interest for 7 years. I mean, if you got zero interest, who cares? Do 20 years. Why not? Why do you think there was no such panic around H1N1 swine flu, but so much around the coronavirus? It just turned out that H1N1 was not that deadly. So initially, there was some panic. I was in college at the time and actually got immunized for H1N1, and it was intranasal. They put this stuff in your nose. because that one was working better, and they also the intramuscular vaccines. I think they were running short on those, but I actually got immunized for that because initially it looked like younger people, like the H1N1 from 1918, the Spanish flu, was killing younger people, and it looked like this one may be doing the same, but it turned out that one just didn't have a high death rate. So that's one of the ways you can kind of tell people, like, listen, everyone wants to compare it to H1N1, and like, don't compare it to Ebola. Ebola is not even that contagious. Now, it's contagious, but you have to have bodily fluids for Ebola. So it's very easy to contain. If you get Ebola, good luck. It's going to be a terrible ride, and most likely you're going to die. And it's the way Ebola is terrifying disease to get, but it's hard to get. You have to and Ebola, when you get it, you bleed a lot near the end. So it can be contagious in that way, but it's not airborne. So it doesn't spread. It's easier to contain. H1N1 is it's just all over the world now. It's part of our normal flu season because we didn't contain it. And that's why there wasn't panic, because it wasn't this 2 to 3% death rate. I mean, Italy's death rate right now, I think, is approaching 8%, and it's terrifying. Okay, Chris. You guys are talking to each other? Oh, just what I saw on this. Okay. Tom Daniels, that's because of social media. It's not because of social media. That's the thing. Pranav said the panic is because of social media, and it's not. We had social media for H1N1. We had social media for Ebola. I was actually, before I had my kind of dirty Tesla, this persona, I was on Reddit during the Ebola crisis talking to people, calming them down, saying, like, it's okay. Like, this is not something you need to panic over. Like, you should pay attention to the news. But even like when they brought the doctor over who brought him to the US who had Ebola, I was never at that time fearful that Ebola was going to erupt in the US. It's too easy to contain. This is airborne. I'm going to say it. I don't have a paper to show you for that. It's hard because whenever you do science, you need to cite all your sources, and I'm not. But this is not containable, in my opinion. It's not containable. It's already out. You're not going to stop it. So it's crazy. So it's not because of social media. That's an easy thing to say, but it's not. Did you hear about Missouri incentivizing Tesla to do Giga Missouri? Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, everybody should be incentivizing. I wish they could come to Michigan, but they can't because of the unions. So -4F is the magic number for the heat pump. Really? Well, that would be awesome. Okay, I mean, JeepX. Okay, so JeepX is saying it's 400% more efficient at 10 Fahrenheit. Now, if that's true, heat pump's a lot better than I thought. I thought they were garbage below, like, 30-ish Fahrenheit. Darian, I'm saving up for my Tesla right now. Keep saving. That's what I did. John Foss. Just received a JD Power survey on my new Model X. Can't wait to tell them how great it is. No problems at all. Teslas are pretty rare here in Michigan. All the neighbors are going nuts. That's awesome, John. That's what happened to me too. Like, everybody just loves Tesla, and they're getting more popular though. I see Model 3s way more often now. I would love an X. That's so cool that you got an X. Yeah, Abraham saying -4F is the magic number for the heat pump. -4 Fahrenheit? Well, I don't see that number too often. Then I would love it. Did you find a vaccine for coronavirus? No. Yehuda asked if we found one. Nobody's found one. There's, like I said, I think one's been injected already. There's a bunch of trials that are going to happen. So how you can speed these things up, I get the question a lot, like, why does it take so long? Well, it takes so long because of safety. I mean, you can't just be injecting people with this random crap and be like, oh, here you go off on your way. So a lot of it is regulatory, and they can throw caution to the wind to a certain extent and allow these things to progress faster than they should. But part of it, so at my work, we're trying to grow, we're using a different strain of coronavirus. So if you don't know, there are 7 human strains. 4 of them cause the common cold. One strain is the new one. One strain is MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. And then the other strain is SARS, like the one that happened in 2002 or whatever. And so we're using one of the cold strains. It just causes the common cold. So we're using that kind of to simulate what we're doing. And what was the point of saying all that? Oh, so to work with this, you have to grow. So we use lung cells on a plate. You have to grow these lung cells. And just to grow those lung cells takes a week, if not longer. Then you got to put the virus on there. And then the virus has to grow, which takes 7 to 9 days. Now you have some virus. But then you got to test all these things. And so to test these conditions, it takes another half a month. You know what I mean? So by the time you've tested a bunch of stuff, it's already been 2 or 3 months. So then normally then you go to animal trials and do all this stuff, but it seems they're skipping the animals for now. Which it's kind of an emergency situation. Yeah, and you guys are also talking about the media. You know what? The media did kind of screw this up not because they're being too alarmist. I think the media is doing an okay job. I don't read the news articles too much. I'm getting most of my information from the CDC and the WHO, but sometimes it's easier to just read CNN or something. Or what? Don't kill me if you hate CNN. I really don't care. Whatever news site I click on, that's the top of Google. The media screwed up in that they're alarmist about everything and nobody trusts them anymore. And I don't trust them either. And so now when they say, this is a big deal and all these people are dying or whatever, people are like, you probably just want clicks. I don't want to click that headline. So, yeah, they screwed up, but yeah. William, how far off do you think we'll be from an actual vaccine or cure for C19? Any thoughts on using chloroquine for treating C19 cases? So how far off? A vaccine, minimum 1 year. Because they need to, I think they monitor, so I don't know, I'm not into the regulatory stuff. I'm like a scientist geek that works with all the molecules. But I think once they give you a vaccine, they monitor you for a year before they'll say that it's safe. Because like, imagine they give you a vaccine that gives you cancer in 6 months. Like, hopefully they didn't give that to everyone in the world. You know what I mean? That they need to make sure that the vaccine is safe. So, I mean, a year. I guess they could accelerate it to maybe 6 months, but that's probably not going to happen. So 1 to 2 years. I mean, vaccines take a long time. And then cure. So that's different. A vaccine is a preventative. So a vaccine, you take the vaccine, you just never get it, which that's ideal. A cure is, oh crap, you have COVID-19, here's a pill or whatever. And then chloroquine, I did read that paper that he tweeted. And it's mostly kind of like anecdotal, like, look at China and South Korea. They used this, so it works. But it's promising. I mean, it's definitely worth looking at. It's I don't know the mechanism of chloroquine, but I know it's used for malaria, and it's used as an antiviral. So, yeah. I mean, the thing is if it works, we'll figure it out pretty quick. You know, that's the thing. People that gets into, like, people get the bogus stuff. I don't want to hurt any feelings, but people are like, oh, use this essential oils or whatever, whatever. It's something like that. And it doesn't actually do anything. Because if it actually did something, we'd already know, and doctors would tell you to use it. That's just the way it is. So if it works, we'll figure it out really quick. Ari looks bored. Well, now he's gone. I know you probably made that comment like an hour ago. But yeah. Did you mean you're worried about Tesla or the virus? I'm worried about the virus. I'm not worried about Tesla. Hour minutes clock. That's a good idea. I don't know how to do that. Sorry. Wow, it's already 10:30. That's okay. Wow, I'm really behind. All right. I'm going to rapid fire and try to catch up, but I won't get off. I'll answer your questions. You think we'll see Model Y and Model 3s with 430 miles of range someday? Yes. Tell us everything about the coronavirus. I think I did, but I'll look for your questions. Scientists don't really argue after theory is confirmed. Abraham, yes, they do. Exactly. I was aware coronavirus is serious within about the first month or two. I simply follow the most reliable news sources, which some of get their report is directly from CDC and WHO. Yes, Brian, you got to make sure that it's not too bloggy. And because if you go directly to the WHO and the CDC, the CDC is pretty good, but the WHO can be tiring. It's very detailed. So Michael, just got Model 3 performance. Congratulations. Any idea how to get new software to download faster? Stuck on an old one. Just make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi, Michael. And if you don't get your update within like 2 weeks, contact support, because sometimes the car never gets marked as delivered. And then you won't get the update pushed. So, but you should get it in a couple days. Like tomorrow, I would guess. But Tai, you're late. Brian, what I've had enough of is people letting themselves be scared, in fear, etc. Yeah, Brian, you got to do what you can, and that's it, If you got to try to stay inside, try to stay away from people. If someone's coughing, definitely run for your life. Just kidding. But if you got to go to the grocery store, then you got to go. Don't buy all the toilet paper. That's not going to save you. I went from the 2013 Ford Focus hatchback to the Tesla long-range rear-wheel drive. Yep, I had a 2014 Ford Focus. Not the titanium. I had the SE. Not hatchback. Oh, I wish I had a hatchback. But yeah, I did the same thing, William. Price jump to 10K after feature complete. Joe, he's asking if full self-driving price will go from 7,000 to 10,000 after it's feature complete. I could see that, but I don't know. At least $1,000, but yeah, I could see 10K. Yesla for Tesla. That's a funny name. Tai, are you working from home? No, I'm not. I go to work because I'm working on the virus. Can't take my work home. Abraham, Hardware 3 is already pretty powerful, so Hardware 4 will likely be a supercomputer. People will probably use it to mine Bitcoin. Yeah, they probably will. Eric, I had mine start moving into the next lane on 696 this evening in one of the tunnels on autopilot. Like, it wasn't supposed to move into the other lane? That would be scary. But obviously you were paying attention. You just fixed it. Abraham, Tesla is calling long-range rear-wheel drive orders to upgrade them for free. I've heard that, but I don't know if it's true. He's talking about the Model Y. Model Y has bigger wheels and wider tires. How much more do you think we can get out of Model Y if we just get the 18-inch tires? Yes, that's such a good question. I really want to know the answer to that. And if I did trade my 3, I have these new, the Martian wheels that I got. And I don't know if the bolt pattern's the same. I don't know if you can do that, but I would try it. That would be a lot of fun. It's 120,000 mile, 8-year warranty. Yeah, for the long range, but for a short range, it's not that much. I think it's 100,000 mile, 8-year. What breed of dog is that? Greyhound? Nope, it's a Whippet, but close. Mark, I got my Model X last Tuesday. It has been in with service since last Wednesday because of a software glitch that happened when it woke up Wednesday related to iBooster for brakes. Ugh, that's not good. Senior Engineering is working on it. I initiated the 7-day money-back process today to protect myself. Has anyone ever heard of this? Mark, I think you did the right thing. I would do the same thing. It's going to be a pain in the butt. I'm scrolling by Asimo's $100 again. Thank you again for that if you're still here. It's amazing. I can't believe you did that. It's very nice. And everybody freaking out about it. Yeah, Mark, I would return it. I hate to say it, and it's going to probably be a pain in the butt, but I wouldn't want to risk getting stuck with, I don't know. I wouldn't risk it. Ledloyd, still waiting on my Hardware 3 upgrade. Any idea where Tesla is at upgrading the fleet? Just ask for it through your app. I bet you'll get it. It seems like people get it when they ask. What is your dog's name? See mine. Ha, Ari, that's his name. Ari is my dog's name. But Twix is... We got Twix too, but he's upstairs. Asimo is a game dev? Oh, that's cool. Wait, are you like some big YouTuber or something? Okay. I need to try and get testing. Oh, you don't need testing unless... I hope you're not talking about for the virus, because you probably don't. Fernando, which of all Tesla models is the most useful? Model X, I think. Or Model Y. One of those two. When do you think Model Y leasing will become available? I think a year. That's my guess. Joe, I heard they want to use plasma of people who have had it and beat it. Yes, Joe. That is a treatment you can do. So if somebody has, and they did this for Ebola too. If they do this, actually they do it for RSV as well. The little babies get RSV and we have no way to fight that. If somebody's had the disease recently, especially, and they recover, your body's full of antibodies that have just fought it off. So you can take their blood, you spin it, you get just the plasma, that's where the antibodies are, and then you can just inject that into the sick person's blood, and then all the antibodies are in there, and then it can help them recover. So that is something. You should make a stream talking just about the coronavirus. Abraham, maybe I'll do that. Where's the other dog? Other dog is upstairs. So how close are we to a vaccine, in your opinion? 1 to 2 years. If, you know what, this is something I haven't said yet. If we can even make one, this isn't the first time people have tried to make a vaccine for coronavirus. And I hate that the name is coronavirus because it's a family of viruses. But like for MERS, my company was already working on a MERS vaccine. And I can't say too much, but the results looked okay in mice. That's as far as we got. They looked fine, nothing special. But no one's made a MERS vaccine. Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, and not for lack of trying. Now, when MERS first popped up, it was kind of like all this funding went to it, blah, 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 but now that it's not spreading, so if you don't know, MERS is another coronavirus that's pretty scary. It goes from camels to people in the Middle East, and it readily spreads through camels, but it doesn't very easily make the jump to people. And MERS's fatality rate, this COVID-19 is like 2 to 3%, maybe less, maybe more, which is scary enough. It might not sound like much, but that's a lot of dead people. MERS is like 20-something%, I want to say. 34% fatality rate for MERS. That's on WHO. So it's some scary stuff. MERS is crazy, but it doesn't really spread person to person very well, so people just kind of forgot about it. You got a badass job. That's so cool. I love hearing you talk about it. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad. I try not to... I'll go off on Tesla or whatever, so I try not to go too much because then people are like, okay, shut up. Thomas, great to hear that you are knowledgeable and work in molecular biology. Me too. I have a new level of respect. You also work in molecular biology, Thomas? That is awesome. Tell me more about what you do. What is your dog's name? Yep, Ari. I've talked to you 10 times. You keep commenting that. I saw it. Better electrically. Did you hear about Missouri offering a land incentive to Tesla? Yes, somebody mentioned that earlier. That's cool. I wish my state of Arkansas did more. I love Tesla and I wish they'd come here, but I'm happy with Missouri too. James Gill, if I order a Model Y and they add towing, will I be able to add it? I don't know, James. That's a good question. There'll be aftermarket options, 100%. But you know what? The Model 3, I think in Europe, did get towing, and it never came to the U.S., so pretty strange. Boston Mike, ship me some of that special sanitizer. Boston Mike, I hope that you can go pick it up at the store soon. You better just stick to talking about cars before you get in trouble. No, it's okay. I didn't talk about any... Chris struggling not to break his NDA. You know what? I don't even know if we have an NDA, to be honest. But our stuff is so unique that if you Googled it, you'd find it. And I don't really want that. And I didn't talk about any of the White House stuff, haha, that we're working with. So, so he's working as a mortician. Who? Not me. Rye, do you think there will be a cure or just treatment? If cure, I don't know that much about antivirals. So I really don't know how that would come about. How long would it be? Here, stop touching your face. I cannot stop touching my face. I use hand sanitizer when I get home, so it's okay. I'm safe. And a cure could, honestly, if we come up with a cure, that would pop up any day. Unlike, it would still need testing for safety, but vaccines take a lot longer. A cure is not, you want a vaccine, that's ideal. So way people are comparing coronavirus to the flu. I don't know what you're trying to say, but Roth IRA, heck yeah, that's the way to go. Flattening the curve and herd immunity. Yeah, flattening the curve. I actually tweeted, I'm not bragging, but I should be ahead on this stuff because it's kind of my job, but all these things I've been at least a few days ahead of all the news coming out. So I was tweeting about that flattening the curve thing, and then a few days later, I'm glad, it's not because of me, but now everybody's talking about it. The point is, the scariest part about the virus right now is if too many people get sick at once. You've probably already heard this now, but if I said this a week ago, you probably hadn't have heard it yet. Too many people get sick at once, hospital gets overwhelmed. They can't treat you all. That's exactly what's happening in Italy right now, and that's why their death rate is like 8%, because they have one machine. I'm just making these numbers up. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but they'll have one machine to save 5 people. And they got to look at those people and say, you get the machine, the rest of you, I hope you make it, but there's nothing we can do for you. And that's why their mortality, that's why 8% of people are dying over there that are being tested and confirmed positive for this. So, we want people to get sick over time, so that the hospital can treat you. There's still a lot of people are going to die, even if we do it perfectly. And it's really sad, but it's just the way it is. A lot of people already have died. And it's just going to happen that way. It's using heat from the motors and battery to supplement the heat pump. That's why it works in colder temps. Wow, Matthew, thank you for telling me that. I haven't got a chance. I'm sure Andy Sly or who else. There were a couple people that did heat pump videos. I'm sure they did a great job explaining it. I just haven't had time to watch them. I have them on my watch laters. Oh, and you said herd immunity. Yeah, once more people are immune, it can't spread as easily. I guess this will start to decline in just 2 to 3 months, and main phase is probably over in 6 months. Yeah, I hope, but I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on Elon's opinion of COVID-19? I don't know his opinion. He said panic is stupid or whatever he said, or all this panic is stupid or something. And that's kind of true. I mean, you should be up on the news. You should be aware of what's going on. You know, and all that. But you shouldn't be panicking. You should do what you can. Stay home if you can and all that. But he's right about panicking. Yo, did you know coronavirus is not new? It was first identified in the 60s. Yeah. Coronavirus, yeah, it's a family of viruses. So CNN is fake news to the fullest. Yeah, I just said CNN. I don't. That's why I was like, I don't really care. Do you know a lot about mucus? I know a little bit, but I don't know about your specific mucus. I'm sorry. I'm almost caught up. Actually, this is good news. Facebook? Are you saying that's a reliable source? I do not work from home. You guys keep repeating the same things. Get out of here. Just search online for one. Okay, I'll do that next time. Stop hoarding the poo paper. I know, it's so weird. I don't know why people are doing that. Okay, sorry. My text moves and then I lose my spot. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Did you know that? Do you know a lot about... Nope, I just read that. Okay, I found it. For that clock, geez. Stop hoarding toilet paper. Again, I don't understand why people did that. I mean, I saw one that it was a psychology explanation. Like, basically, people feel this need to do something, so they go out and buy stuff, and then you hear that everyone's buying toilet paper, so you do it, and then you're like, okay, I did something. I have successfully thwarted this issue. There's not even any potential cases in my area as of now. I was just at the post office, CVS, Walmart, and stopped at Wendy's too. Brian, you know, the thing is with that, the testing, of course, lags behind the actual cases. Now, that said, if there's no confirmed cases in your area, I wouldn't worry about it either. But once you start to see them pop up, like Michigan, when was our first thing? Like it was last week on Tuesday night. So it was 1 week ago. We had 2. And today we have 63 or something. You know, so in 7 days we went from 2 to 63 or 65, actually. So it happens very fast. And in another week or two, we're going to be well into the hundreds for sure. The 19 part does definitely come from the year. Yeah, COVID-19, coronavirus 19. Or coronavirus disease, I think is what it stands for. Can anyone explain what a hatchback is? I'm not a native speaker. A hatchback is like when you get a car. A Model S is a hatchback. A Model Y is a hatchback. A Model 3 is not a hatchback. I hope that answers your question. Do we know if the Cybertruck will have automatic tailgate? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I was thinking. I was like, I thought it did, but I'm not sure. DirtyTesla, Esmo is a game dev. That's cool. I don't know. That's awesome that you're a game dev. Didn't you just say that's not the case? If not, my bad. Oh. You guys are talking to each other. I try not to interfere with your conversations. If you would get the Y, would you get an all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive? Definitely all-wheel drive, 100%. Getting Model Y this Saturday. Awesome. That's so cool. You got to DM me stuff. I hope you're in Michigan and you can bring it to me. I'm wondering if they have a pedestrian warning system. The manual makes no mention of it. Darren, they're not fully required yet from my understanding. You have to have a certain percentage of your fleet. I would assume they have it, but you know what? I haven't heard anyone mention it. So maybe the first few coming off the line don't have it. I put my appointment for hardware through upgrade every month and they cancel my appointment the next day, saying I'm not worthy. Piero, just do that. Just do that once a month. Cybertruck, yeah, of course Cybertruck is most useful, but it doesn't exist yet. Air suspension Model 3, all-wheel drive ability to set front motor only or rear outside track mode. Air suspension will not come to the Model 3 ever, in my opinion, Colin. And all-wheel drive ability to set the front motor, so like in track mode version 2, the car pretty much already does this for you automatically. and only uses the second motor when you accelerate hard or if it feels that it needs it. So you don't need that. It does that. It's very good at being efficient for you. Okay. I thought people couldn't talk about coronavirus on YouTube. Eric, you get demonetized. Actually, Eric, and Tyler, they're changing that. They're loosening that up a little bit, so that people can talk about it. And YouTube's done a good job of having the little disclaimer below videos. It's so people can't come on here and get paid to spread misinfo. Affects the people spreading the truth too, but that's just part of it. A bit of a controversial subject, but what do you think of coronavirus being called Wuhan virus? That's... I don't care, honestly, that much. I'm thinking from like a scientific perspective. I wish it was called something else besides coronavirus. But that's why I call it SARS-CoV-2. Severe, what is it? What does that stand for? SARS. What is SARS? Why did I? Severe acute respiratory syndrome. SARS-CoV-2, because it's like the second version of SARS, kind of. That's a recognized name, so a published name, so I like that one. My bro and family have it. Sounds sucky, weak, fever, shallow breathing, bedridden. Still, I think total deaths will be lower than the scare predictions. Ben K, I hope they are, and I hope your family feels better. YouTubers are always making false statements in their videos. They still get paid. There are plenty of factors. So I've heard other people say they can't talk about the virus, and what you're saying is super interesting. Are we going to be able to review this? I missed some. Yeah, you can talk about it, but yeah, I might get demonetized on this video, but that's okay. Actually, if you look back at my old streams, there's one that has coronavirus in the title, and they demonetized it. But, like, who cares? I don't really care that much. You remind me of that meme where someone was saying not to touch your face. I know, yeah, that was so funny. She's like, don't touch your face, and then she, like, licks her hand, and... that's the not touching your face is when you're out and about. Like when I'm sitting in my house, there's no coronavirus here. But the first thing I do when I get home, which it's probably unnecessary, but just to be safe, I always put hand sanitizer, like definitely before I see baby. And I do it after work too, because I work with viruses and stuff. So leave work, hand sanitizer, but then on the way out, I touch door handles and stuff. So when I get home, hand sanitizer. And then now that I'm in the house, who cares? Have you listened to the Vietnamese coronavirus song? It's so funny. I think I have. How fast can new ventilators be built? I have no idea. Hopefully really fast. The isolations and self-quarantines help the spread. The problem is people that just don't care and go out in public anyway. I know, that's so messed up. Those spring breakers. I know, all those people on the beach, people are just selfish. I'm not going to lie, though. I saw plane tickets to Florida were $40, and my initial thought, to be honest, my initial thought was like, oh my gosh, I want to go. Let's go for a couple days. And then I was like, okay, let's not. Let's not go. It's a matter of taking it serious, not irrational panic. Yep. What size shoe do you wear? Come on, get out of here. Do you like the Cybertruck's design? I still think it's kind of ugly, but I'm used to it now. I've heard rumors of certain viruses being thwarted due to heat cold. I don't think this is true. Thoughts? William, viruses can spread less. Like the flu, we don't have the flu as much in the summer because it doesn't survive on surfaces as well in the warmth. And also people aren't crowded together as much. So it's true. Cytokine storm an issue with coronavirus. Sherlock Holmes. That is a really good question, and this may be the case. So cytokine storm, if you don't know, it's basically your immune system overreacts to a stimulus, and it's almost like an allergic reaction. You can think of it that way, where it's not like if you eat a peanut and you're allergic to peanuts, the peanut kills you. It's actually your immune system goes insane, and you get a lot of inflammation. You can't breathe. So cytokine storm might be an issue. And, if you think about it, everybody, 99, I'm making up a number just to clarify. Most people are exposed to a coronavirus or a few. It's like by the age of 5 or something. I don't have the exact information for you. But again, there are 4 different coronaviruses that cause the common cold that probably everyone in this chat, including me, has been exposed to already. So your immune system has antibodies against those coronaviruses because you've seen them before. And you got cold and you got the sniffles and whatever, you're better. Well, the spike protein on the different coronaviruses have a lot of similarities in their structure. and in their amino acid sequence. Like proteins are made of amino acids. And so that's what your antibodies recognize shapes, and they can recognize amino acid sequences. And so when the amino acid sequence is similar, you may have antibodies that recognize from that old coronavirus, they may recognize this new one, and your body may go into some type of overload, which could be why the older you are, the more dangerous it is, because you've had more time to be exposed to those other coronaviruses, and so you have more antibodies. It's all just very theoretical, but it's possible, Sherlock, yes, that cytokine storm is why some people, even in their 40s, are having real big issues with this, and then other people aren't. The other thing, to give you a good example of this, is for smallpox. When they first were coming up with that vaccine, they actually were giving you the cowpox, so the cow version of the disease, and it was a very mild disease that you would get if you were infected with cowpox. But because that disease was, that microorganism was so similar to smallpox, the human version, you were protected because you had antibodies from the cowpox, and they could protect you from the actual smallpox. So from what I've looked at on the computer, you can, if you don't know, if you're not in molecular biology, you wouldn't know, but there's this thing called BLAST, and it's a software online. You can go blast whatever you want. Most of these DNA sequences are freely available. You can take two DNA sequences and you blast them, and it compares them, and it tells you how similar the two proteins are. And with this new coronavirus, this deadly one, and you blast it next to like the cold virus, similarity is like 60 or 70%. So your old antibodies may be recognizing this thing. Apparently China ran out, so people here are thinking the same. Then I heard a guy at work say toilet paper is made in China, which is false. People are dumb. Oh, so that's why people are getting toilet paper. I was almost caught up, but then I go off on tangents about biology. Friday in Nebraska was our first, now we're at 23. Yeah, that's how it goes. They canceled all school for 6 weeks at least. Yep, pretty sure the CT tailgate. Yeah, around me, everything is closed. Not everything, but all the restaurants and sit-down places are closed. It's eerie. It's eerie. You know, you drive by, I think McDonald's did this in the whole country or the whole world. And you drive by the McDonald's and it's barricaded with all these like drive-through open signs, but it looks weird that it's all barricaded. It's strange. No, that's okay, William. That's what I was referring to. Heat and cold of the summer. I'm Mexican, and right now our government is letting European and U.S. flights into the country. What are your thoughts on that? I think it's a bad idea because Mexico, I don't know what they're doing for testing though. But from last I heard, Mexico didn't have that many cases. But aren't they talking about closing the border too? To stop that? So I think it's hard, but if you, I don't know, because like, let's say the whole world agreed for 3 weeks to just stay home. Okay, this is impossible, but theoretically, we just all stayed home for 3 weeks. It's not over. I mean, the virus can still spread after that. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. You didn't explain what a hatchback is. I still don't know what it is. Yeah, it's like a giant door on the back of your car. So think of how the Model Y opens versus how the Model 3 opens. The Model 3 is a trunk. The Model Y is a hatchback. Yeah, Pennsylvania is up too. The shelves at my local Walmart were crazy empty. I know, all the stuff is empty here too. We should still be getting shipments of stuff. Hey man, where are the dogs today? Ari's in there. You can see his foot right now. Yeah, the virus I call SARS-CoV-2. Yeah, it's called SARS-CoV-2 is the actual virus. Communist China coronavirus. Yeah, no, don't call it that. Hey, Dirty Dude, how you doing? I'm good, John. Welcome back. Thank you for saying that. People did... okay, we're here. Disconnected for a second, I think. Okay. All right. I need to catch up. I'm almost caught up. Mother Nature's whack. Stay healthy, I know. WHO said coronavirus isn't affected by temperature. Good to know. I did see one paper where they predicted that the summer would drop it just a little bit, but it's not much. Not anywhere near how much it drops the flu. It's very necessary. You should scrub those hands good when you come home. Keep that thing away from your house. Yes, John, I do. I do that. You could wash your hands instead of using hand sanitizer. Abraham, that's a good point. I personally prefer hand sanitizer because I feel like it's easier to not screw up. It's a lot easier to miss spots when you wash your hands. And when you wash your hands, you need to do the whole 20-second thing, and you need to be like getting everything, which, like, let's be real, before this, who washed their hands appropriately? I know I didn't. I washed them, but like, did I do it for 20 seconds? No, I got them all and then I rinsed them off. Hand sanitizer, you can feel where it is, spread it on everything, and just kind of let it sit there for a minute so your hands are wet with that alcohol, and then rub it in. And that will obliterate the viruses and bacteria on your hands. So I just personally, from the way I see things in my brain, that's what I prefer. But I mean, if I'm wash my hands, I wash my hands. But there's a person who tested positive, didn't care, and was trying to leave his house. The police are there making sure he doesn't leave. Yeah, I hope he goes to jail after that too, after he's cured or gets fined or something. Oh, a Tesla question? No way. Based on your personal use, how far away is Tesla from full self-driving? A long way. I don't know, a year or 5. It can. The problem is antibiotics rush your system with blood cells to kill the infection, but when it's your lungs, they can drown you and you die of pneumonia. Yes. Hello, Nicholas. So what you're saying is that when I had the cold a week or 2 ago, it might have actually been a coronavirus, just not SARS-CoV-2. Eben, yes, it could have been a coronavirus, but there's other viruses that cause the common cold as well. Interesting. Man, Mother Nature is whack. It's pretty amazing. How helpful is the game Fold It in the field of microbiology? It's not... Oh, thank you, Nicholas. That's so nice of you. You missed Asimov earlier. It's not useful to me. I don't use it, but whoever uses it probably finds it helpful. I'm in Michigan. Lots of things are closed here in Memphis. What of this chloroquine stuff? Yeah, it's possible. I talked about it earlier. I don't know much about it, but it could work. Should we worry about the SARS-CoV-2 virus getting to us via Amazon, FedEx, USPS deliveries? Today I received a package and I doused the box with Clorox. William, I don't think so. Viruses don't survive very long on porous surfaces. I mean, it's like a matter of minutes or maybe hours, probably less. You're more worried about hard surfaces, so like cardboard. It's not really going to survive. And again, the papers aren't peer reviewed, and I don't know what's changed since I saw this, but I saw a study that it's not surviving on surfaces very long, like not even a day. I don't know if that's true anymore, but did I just play an ad? No, I didn't. I don't think I can do that. I can't swallow the claim that there are more than one coronavirus. Why is no other entity making such a statement? Brian, coronavirus is a family of viruses. Corona means crown. So coronavirus is just the shape of the virus. So there are, like I said, there's 7 human coronaviruses, and there's a bunch more in animals that I don't know about. But there are 4 types that cause the common cold. So that's why I don't like that it's named coronavirus, because it confuses people. Like the cold strain that I'm working with is 229E. So look up like coronavirus 229E. You can leave the stream if you want, but search that in Google. It's just a family of viruses. Why are stores completely out of aspirin? Because people are buying everything. You can access the way back without folding seats down. I have to write an exam in an hour. I'm almost done here. LOL, Trump closing Mexican border will do nothing. No, Trump isn't going to close it. Mexico's going to close it. If only I could find some hand sanitizer. I know, Joe. It's all sold out. I bought some. I'll ship it to you. $1,000. Bye. I have to revise my exam. Bye. Good luck. All right, guys. I'm caught up. Corona equals crown in Spanish. Nice. I don't know Spanish, but I knew it meant crown. It is also confusing in Spanish. Yeah, I bet. William, thanks so much for doing this. Totally enjoyed science and Tesla conversation. Subscribed. Thank you, William. Maybe, guys, I will do a coronavirus live stream. And surprise for you if you're still here. 2 surprises. Tomorrow morning, I'm releasing a video. I did some surgery on my Model 3 with Manuel. And the other surprise is, since the roads are so creepily empty, I was thinking of doing a live Tesla challenge tomorrow where I live stream my drive to work. But I may be prevented from doing that. So I'm working on it. 1001 and you got a deal. You just upped it $1? You're paying me an extra $1? All right, thanks everybody. I'm gonna call it there. I hope you enjoyed this one. I don't know how to end streams. I'll hang out for a second. So no, I won't. I'm just gonna end it. All right. Thank you. See you around. And if the videos slow down, don't forget me because I'm very busy trying to save the world. Chris, I'm moving. Oh, one more. Last one. I'm moving to my new place in April in Michigan. How much would my electric bill increase when I start to charge my Model 3 at home? Mine increased $50 a month, but look at the different rate plans. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for the donations. I really appreciate it. You're helping feed my baby and helping me justify my time here, helping you and learning stuff with you guys. So have a good night, and I will see you all around. DM me if you need anything else.